Alright, it's 10:20, means it's 4:20 somewhere. If you got one, spark up. Oh shit. Alright, so I noticed, flipped open my iPad, went on Twitter real fast, and saw that George Carlin was trending. Few of his bits were being shared. This one in particular was being shared a bunch, or a clip of it, which is actually very foretelling. I almost forgot about this clip. Um, the funny thing I thought was, or a funny thing I saw though was you had progressives and conservatives and liberals all arguing over who George would have sided with. And the reality is he wouldn't have sided with any of them. You know, progressives and liberals, they're big on political correctness. George Carlin said political correctness is fascism pretending to be manners. And, well, when it pertains to war and government and police, we know why he wouldn't side with conservatives who, you know, tend to worship the military and the police, the enforcers of the corrupt politicians. But I just had to play this clip. It's been a while. And yeah, very on topic, or very on point, considering they just rolled out a new variant for the stupid 19. I'm not surprised. I'm just trying to figure out what else they're going to try to roll out. You know, the fact that everything else just goes out the window for them to talk about this. They're trying to scare people for something. I don't know. Maybe their numbers aren't quite where they want them to be, or they're trying to rush everyone out to get that booster. Don't worry, the fourth one's coming soon. But let's get to it.
It's just one more way of reducing your liberty and reminding you that they can fuck with you anytime they want. As long as you put up with it. As long as you put up with it. Which means, of course,
And that's the big thing right there. I see people all the time with masks on, complaining about masks. Well, why the fuck are you wearing it? There's only one place I wear a mask. Weed store. Only reason I do that, because I could get it curbside pickup. But the only reason I do that is because, my husky gets a lot of attention and he usually gets several treats. So that it's for him. And that plus, I wear it more like a chin diaper anyway, and they don't, like, it's usually down like here. Half my mouth is still exposed. But I don't know. But they also fall under heavier surveillance, if you will. But other than that, any place I go, if they try and tell me to wear a mask, I leave. Most places, though, they don't even say nothing. The grocery stores I go to, gas stations, the Buy Mart, they don't require it. Well, they have a sign, but nobody says nothing. But this all ends when we say it does. When enough people say enough is enough, and we just go back about living our lives. We don't need the government to control every aspect of our lives. We can just live our lives. But let's get back to it.
That they can fuck with you anytime they want, as long as you put up with it. As long as you put up with it. Which means, of course, anytime they want. Because that's what Americans do now. They're always willing to trade away a little of their freedom in exchange for the feeling, the illusion of security. What we have now is a completely neurotic population obsessed with security and safety and crime and drugs and cleanliness and hygiene and germs. There's another thing. Germs. Where did this sudden fear of germs come from? In this country. Have you noticed this? The media constantly running stories about all the latest infections, salmonella, E. coli, hantavirus, bird flu, and Americans they panic easily, so now everybody's running around scrubbing this and spraying that and overcooking their food and repeatedly washing their hands, trying to avoid all contact with germs. It's ridiculous, and it goes to ridiculous lengths. In prisons, before they give you a lethal injection, they swab your arm with alcohol. It's true. It's true. It's true. Well, they don't want you to get an infection. And you can see their point. Wouldn't want some guy to go to hell and be sick. It would take a lot of the sportsmanship out of the whole execution. Fear of germs. Why, these fucking pussies. You can't even get a decent hamburger anymore. They cook the shit out of everything now because everybody's afraid of food poisoning. Hey, where's your sense of adventure? Take a fucking chance, will you? You know how many people die in this country from food poisoning every year? 9,000. That's all. It's a minor risk. Take a fucking chance, bunch of goddamn pussies. Besides, what do you think you have an immune system for? It's for killing germs. But it needs practice. It needs germs to practice on. So listen. If you kill all the germs around you and live a completely sterile life, then when germs do come along, you're not going to be prepared. And never mind ordinary germs, what are you going to do when some super virus comes along that turns your vital organs into liquid shit? Never mind ordinary germs. What are you going to do when some super virus comes along that turns your vital organs into liquid shit? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get sick, you're going to die, and you're going to deserve it because you're fucking weak and you got a fucking weak immune system. Now, God damn it. Hey. All right. Let me tell you a true story about immunization, okay? When I was a little boy in New York City in the 1940s, we swam in the Hudson River, and it was filled with raw sewage, okay? We swam in raw sewage, to cool off. And at that time, the big fear was polio. Thousands of kids died from polio every year. But you know something? In my neighborhood, no one ever got polio. No one, ever. You know why? Because we swam in raw sewage. It strengthened our immune systems. The polio never had a prayer. We were tempered in raw shit. So personally, I never take any special precautions against germs. I don't shy away from people who sneeze and cough. I don't wipe off the telephone. I don't cover the toilet seat. And if I drop food on the floor, I pick it up and eat it. I eat it. Yes, I do. Even if I'm at a sidewalk cafe in Calcutta, the poor section, on New Year's morning during a soccer riot. And you know something? In spite of all that so-called risky behavior, I never get infections. I don't get them. I don't get colds. I don't get flu. I don't get headaches. I don't get upset stomachs. And you know why? Because I got a good, strong immune system, and it gets a lot of practice. My immune system is equipped with the biological equivalent of fully automatic military assault rifles with night vision and laser scopes. And we have recently acquired phosphorus grenades, cluster bombs, and anti-personnel fragmentation mines. So, when my white blood cells are on patrol, reconnoitering my bloodstream, seeking out strangers and other undesirables, if they see any suspicious-looking germs of any kind, they don't fuck around. They whip out the weapons, they wax the motherfucker, and deposit the unlucky fellow directly into my colon. Into my colon. There's no nonsense. There's no Miranda warning. There's none of that 3 strikes and you're out shit. First defense, bam! Into the colon you go. And speaking of my colon, I want you to know I don't automatically wash my hands every time I go to the bathroom, okay? Can you deal with that? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You know when I wash my hands? When I shit on them. That's the only time. And you know how often that happens? Tops. 2, 3 times a week. Tops. Maybe a little more frequently over the holidays, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you something else, my well-scrubbed friends. You don't always need a shower every day. Did you know that? It's overkill. Unless you work out or work outdoors or for some reason come in intimate contact with huge amounts of filth and garbage every day, you don't always need a shower. All you really need to do is to wash the 4 key areas. Armpits, asshole, crotch, and teeth. Got that? Armpits, asshole, crotch, and teeth. In fact, you can save yourself a whole lot of time if you simply use the same brush on all 4 areas. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. That was George Carlin on germs in the immune system. Damn, if he didn't foretell COVID, I don't know what the fuck. Because they have. They've been pushing the boundaries. A few weeks ago, I did a piece on a new digital ID. It's looking like Australia is about to implement such a digital ID. And I gotta do a little more research, but I heard actually that Bill Gates is helping fund or partnering with or something. I gotta do a little more research into that, and then I might do a video on that. But, you know, they're slowly pushing us to where they want us to go. And we can either resist and just, start living without them, or we can try and comply and hope that it works. I'm sorry, I can't say that part with a straight face. But, yeah. This is, now, in theory, this new variant should be less deadly. However, it will be more transmissible. Which is actually one of the concerns about overjuicing the population. Just like they, because the fear is that especially where it doesn't, it doesn't prevent transmission, it means it can evolve off of people who have taken the juice. And eventually, if it goes through too many people who have had the juice, it'll become juice resistant and could get more deadly instead of more transmissible. That's why it's important that we let it run through the healthy part of the population, and protect the people who need to be protected. Or, let me rephrase, protect the people who want to be protected. But yeah. And this, And that's using the same logic that people who are opposed to factory farms, when they say, oh, all this over medication of the animals when it's not needed, it's going to create a superbug. Now, apply it to humans. Same theory. Over medication going to create a superbug. And there's people who would love to see a 100% juice rate. It's a head scratcher for that one. The mental gymnastics some people have to do to hold on to certain beliefs that they were instructed to have, essentially, is stunning and amazing. But that was George Carlin, Germs in the Immune System. For anyone watching who was seeing the arguments play out on Twitter, or you were partaking in the arguments on Twitter, George didn't like politics. He didn't like politicians. He didn't believe in a political ideology. He believed in pushing boundaries. So he wouldn't have sided with any. I mean, he was a philosopher. And damn if he didn't. Watch out. Damn if he didn't predict what we're going through now. Kind of wish he was alive to be able to give his up-to-date opinion on this stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you worried about the new variant? Go ahead, also leave any suggestions of anything you want me to check out. Other than that, y'all have a nice night. Thanks for watching. Stay blazing.